So hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. Today is day 11 of upskilling myself, and today we did two DSA problems. One was easy, one was hard. I had a lot of internship work too, as well as I had to set up an Argo CD project for the internship purpose. So yeah, I neglected DSA for today and focused on development part. So the first question that I solved was an easy little problem, and this was a problem that we can solve using the hash map. What we have to do was we have to create word balloon out of the given text, and we have to output how many times we can create the word balloon. Okay, so in this case we can just create it once, so we output 1. In this case we can create it twice, so we output 2. So how to solve it? We create an unordered map. We store all the occurrences of the letters, and then we traverse the whole array, and then if we find the character which is present in the hash map, we increment the count. For L and O, we divide it by 2 as they occur twice. Then we create a variable called max balloons. We set it to int max, and we are returning this max balloons as our answer. Then we traverse the whole map, the hash map, and then we set the max balloons as min of max balloons and the second, that is the frequency, and then we return max balloons. Then let's see the second problem, which was a hard problem. The understanding and the thinking was pretty hard, but the code was very easy. I had to think for 30 to 40 minutes to get the optimized solution, and this is the optimized solution. So what we do is we use array as a hash map, and we store element with respect to its index, right? So we don't use hash map because it will increase the space complexity, and we have to solve in O of 1 complexity, right? So first of all, what we do is we get the size, then we traverse the whole array, and then we swap nums of I with nums of I minus 1. So what we do here is, so let's take an example of this. So 3 is here. What we have to do is we have to find the element which is not present in the array. So if it's like this, so the number should be 1, 2, and 3. But we don't have 3, we have 0 instead. So we have to output 3. In this case, we have 1, we have 3, we have 4, but we don't have 2. Okay, so we have to output 2 over here. So to solve it, what we can do is we can set all of these elements, we can sort them and set them into their respective places, and then we can start and we can traverse the array, and then if we find an element such that, let's see over here, we will set it like this. These are the elements and this is the index. So if we find an element such that the element is not equals to I plus 1, then we'll return I plus 1. Okay, so in this case, if you see, after sorting, it was like minus 1. Minus 1 would be neglected, it would be 1, any number, let's say minus 1 over here, then 3 and 4. The index is 0, 1, 2, and 3. These two match, so no worries, but these two don't match. Minus 1 is not equals to 2, so we return this 2. It's pretty simple. Then we start a second loop where we search for element and index, whether they match or not. If they don't match, then we return I plus 1, which is the index over here, as you can see, 2. And if all of these match, we have to return the next element that will occur. Like over here, if you see, the array is 1, 2, 3, and all of the elements match, then we have to return 4. So n plus 1. As I told you earlier, I had pretty much internship work. Then I had to set up the Argo CD setup, and it was pretty time consuming. It took 4 to 5 hours of my time. I set up it using Kubernetes and AWS EC2, and I chose T2 Micro, which was on a free tier. It had only 1 GB of RAM, which was not sufficient for me to run the Argo setup. I had to reboot the system twice, thrice, and then the system would work, then again it would crash, and then again I had to reboot it. I have to scale down some of the apps so that I can run it successfully, and it was a hell lot of mess, but yeah, the setup was successful. Then I had some YouTube stuff, and then I did the revision of all the DSA problems that I solved. So thank you guys for watching, and see you on day 12.